Yesterday's lighting sucked, so we're just gonna have to go with the fact that I look like I'm getting beamed to heaven. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's the reflection of the window. It does. It's fine. Try to ignore it. Anyways, so we finally get to the video that I've wanted to make. The album's one was like second, yeah, but this one is like the number one that I want to make. So if you don't know, this is not top songs of last year. This is top songs that I heard for the first time last year. And the different years are going to vary. You're going to notice that there's actually more songs that didn't come out last year on my list than songs that did come out last year. That being said, the other thing that I'd like to mention is that regarding merch, I finished my entire Far Cry collection from Lucas from Afar, so that's all done. I'm gonna start working on what was once great merch, and outside of that, the next video, which is going to be extremely long, I will have to probably take me. I don't know, man. It might take a couple months, to be honest. It's a big video, but I'm going to be very passionate about going in depth with why I like each album and everything. And there's just a long list. I might even have to condense it into having an honorable mention section. I'm not entirely sure yet. From what my phone can hold, probably gonna have to do that. Speaking about honorable mentions, let's get to the honorable mentions.
You got a fast car, and I want to take it.
So funny enough, all of the honorable mentions this year are going to be songs that came out last year. So first off, Fast Car by Luke Combs. This is actually probably, I'm being completely honest when I say that this is what got me into accepting country music. I don't know what it is. I love the original Fast Car. Everybody would go on about it. Everybody would tell me to listen to it. I love it. And never heard Luke Combs, but when I hear his voice, it's good country music. I don't know if he's done anything bad, but regardless, it's just a really good cover. It's a very summertime, spring song you want to just play while you're driving down dirt roads or in the back roads, either in a Mustang or a truck. I feel like it captures that energy. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
I know it used to be crazy.
This is going to be an interesting one because I actually forgot about, was it Jaded? But then I heard this and I'm like, yeah, no, fun fact is that I would say that the honorable mentions are only honorable because I forgot about them to put them on the list last year. So the only reason, and I want to talk about them because they would have been on my list. They would have definitely taken out some songs. And especially Used to Be Young is probably the second best next to the next pick. It is a very good song. I think it's Miley's best song in my opinion. I feel like not a lot of people give her credit, or not a lot of people put this song on their list. It's a very great song. It's kind of I forget what song it was, but Justin Bieber kind of did the same thing where he made a song, talking about the perception of him when he was young, but he did a bad job of it. And not a lot of people some people liked it, some people didn't. And this was just the best way of doing it. I love the new direction that Miley's going, and it's a really great song that has a really great message that actually gets it across, unlike the Justin Bieber one. And you really do feel sorry when you realize and think about everything that she's been through from Hannah Montana up until the dark years, and now this is the it's like the opposite of like what happened to Britney Spears. But yeah, it's a fantastic song. Okay, so I do have bias for this one. I'm gonna try to condense it, and I don't want to be like last time and go on about nothing nowhere. But with this guy, Gene Dawson, I found out about him through TikTok, infamously. If you ask me what song, I forget which one it was, but it was kind of like a pop punk one off of like the album that came out that year. Sick of It. Sick of It is a banger. And I just I don't know what it was really. I kind of just put it off, and then I checked out his discography, and he became like one of my instantly favorite artists. This song though, wow, I did forget I was gonna put like his entire like discography on my best list. I'm gonna have to do that this year along with some other artists, because like the recognition, they need more recognition. And with Gene Dawson, if you listen to this song with SZA, it's a really great, like I'd argue phenomenal song that's done in a way that I feel like, a lot of people try to do this like slow sounding song to get you to cry, or like it's sad. Sometimes I'm into it, sometimes I'm not, and I feel like this song just does everything right. And it's honestly probably like one of those songs that I consider to be like a very dark song, or a very sad song to listen to in the summertime or in the spring, where seasons that you would expect, people have fun. It's a very vibrant season where a lot of stuff's going on, great memories are to be made. This is just like the miserable aspect of like childhood and the reflection of like those dark times. And I feel like this is definitely one of those songs that a lot of people will probably connect with in ways that, Gene Dawson has a lot of great relatable songs and relatable lyrics, but this song to me was probably like the first song to like really get me emotional from him. Outside of some other ones, but this one definitely had more, if not the most emotional impact on me. It's really impossible to get all of the feelings from this song without watching the video. I feel like this is one of those instances where I have to say, like, the art goes together so well that you need to watch the video and listen to the song rather than just listening to the song. Yeah, you can throw it on in a dark room and, while you're like depressed, but when you really like enjoy both pieces of art that come together, the music video is really just, it's dark, it's sad, but there's also something so beautiful about the presentation and everything along with the song. It just, everything goes together so well. I would have probably put this out at like a top 3 song, and if I didn't forget about it. And this did come out last year, which was it was definitely one of my favorite songs from last year. Okay, I have some more honorable mentions that I forgot. Most of them are at the ends of credits for movies. I can't believe they just slipped my mind, but then I remembered that one of them wasn't on my list. One of them wasn't on Spotify. Actually, sorry, 2 of them weren't on my list, and one of them wasn't on Spotify. So it's pretty easy to forget. The first one is Shattered by Remy Zero. Great band, great song. The movie, it was from fantastic movie. This is just one of those songs where honestly I thought it really sounded like Dashboard Confessional, before that one album even came out. Actually, before Dashboard Confessional was a thing, It's pretty crazy, like how similar their voices sound, and it literally sounds like that song could have been off of that one album. This was I think '97, I believe. Remy Zero is responsible for the theme of Smallville, which I haven't really dove into their discography, but they make some really good music that I feel like it's overlooked from most '90s alternative rock bands, especially like this category of '90s alternative rock bands, like more slow, moody. And yeah, they definitely deserve way more credit. The song is, as it kind of run of the mill, like slow, drowny. The lyrics, I don't know. It's just one of those songs where it's like so simplified that it just resonates with you. But whenever like the second vocals comes in with the chorus, it's just really kind of just really makes me love the song even more. And like where this goes in like the movie is, I guess, like I don't want to, if I explain the song, that it kind of gives away the movie, but it's kind of like this person sees this other person, and like they're like what they see in that person is just like it's no more, and it will never be the same again. I guess, if that makes sense. It's not really a song that I could sell you, but if you watch the movie and you hear the music, you'll understand more about like the impact of it that it has.
There's an empty place inside.
I don't have a physical copy of Gossip, but the overall song, why I like this song so much is I'm not a fan of Oasis, and it kind of just sounds like an Oasis song that I can actually tolerate. There's a good guitar solo in it, and where this fits in the movie, like again, it kind of spoils the whole movie, but like it's kind of a dumb song if you didn't watch the movie. Like if you just listen to it, just sounds like someone whining about like why you got to be so mean to me. But if you watch the movie, you'll have a bigger appreciation for the song. So I'm just gonna keep it there. I'm not gonna say much. This one kind of hurt me to not include, because I feel like this could deserve a really good big segment, and I'd probably have to have like another day to think about what to say about this song. But growing up, I had a huge appreciation for like butt rock, divorced dad rock. Is the rock that got me into listening to more music, specifically heavier music like post-hardcore, and like your typical 3 Days Grace, Skillet, Breaking Benjamin, Papa Roach. You can name way more. Hinder, Seether, far more. But at the end of the day, like I just never get tired of simplistic rock, butt rock, divorced dad rock songs. Until I watched this kind of like. This movie is not good by any means. In fact, I would call it a so bad it's good. But even then, like, I don't know, like, some people might just like it for what it is. It's Hero Wanted, 2009, I believe. 2008. Yeah, 2008. How I classify this movie is if Hallmark made a crime drama, which is funny to say the least, but if you watch the movie, you'll understand what I mean. The real saving grace of this movie came with the end of credits song that blew me away. I think the only like real, there are certain generic rock songs to me. I'm just gonna call it generic rock, even though it's not. That have really resonated with me over the years. Scars, Papa Roach, obviously, is like probably one of the biggest ones. And then the other one being I already forgot the name, but it's the one with Amy Lee and the guy from Seether. However, when I heard the song off of this movie, it's kind of like I don't know. I thought it was just gonna be like your typical. At first, actually, I didn't even know. It sounded like a band I've heard before, which is it sounded, I guess, kind of like Hinder or Seether. Really, like I couldn't think of any other band. It sounded like Hinder or Seether. So I was like, did they make this amazing song? They didn't. Um, and it's one of those songs that, like, started off like I thought it was just gonna be a ballad song, and it's became way more than that in the end. Like it is a rock ballad, but it's not rock until the end, and whenever that ending kicks in, it's so good. Um, this song to me is it's like it kind of goes over the typical rock thing where it's like this guy's where a guy is writing a song about like his girlfriend or this girl hating herself, and as long as they're with them, things are going to be okay. But then there's also like there's definitely a little bit of a manipulation aspect to it. Actually, kind of reminds me of that one Sick Puppy song, and but it's done in a way that's like you can feel for you feel for everybody in this song. Like you feel for the guy that's singing the song, and you feel for the girl because his voice and the way everything just comes together really just delivers on everything I expect from a ballad, but even more. I'm not afraid to say that this is my favorite Bud Rock Divorce Dad Rock song. Like this is an amazing song that not a lot of people I think know about. Um, Whether you heard it in this movie, you heard it in something else, it is a fantastic song, and definitely hurts me that I didn't put this on my list. I forgot to. I'm 100% sure, 100% sure that it is liked. I just forgot to add it to the list. It will be probably put onto this year's list though, because it is a phenomenal song that I don't think a lot of songs will top this song. It almost kind of reminds me of actually Symptom of Being Human in a way. Now that I think about it, if the song was just written specifically about the girl in the music video, I feel like they're kind of the same. Now the real question is what song has more of an emotional impact on me. I would say that this one does, considering that it delivers the the punch at the end that I was expecting from Symptom of Being Human, but instead it wasn't. It was just drums. But no, with the guitar, when the guitars come in on this song, it really just delivers. I feel like if I had to pick between the two, I would definitely cry more to this one. But they're both great in their own ways. So I'm glad that they both have a place on this in this video. Um, you decide what you like more, but I think this song is just way more special, and it's definitely one of the best rock songs I've ever heard. Let's move on with the list. All right, now let's talk about stuff. One thing that didn't come out last year. If I'm gonna go on about this whole album, it's gonna be in the album video. But this album is so good, and it really changed everything last year for me. But I want to just talk about this song. This is a beautifully written song. That the only thing that I could come up with is it's like you lived your life, you lived a very fulfilling life through a painting, and then you died within like the painting. Um, it's kind of like my theory or my like imagery for this is kind of like the Truman Show, but it's through a painting. I don't know. I don't know how everything really connects, but um, specifically, like this is a very specific memory. But like when I was younger, I would go with my grandfather to like a yacht club, and there's always like these really like standout paintings in the at the place that would just make me like want to like just go into the painting and just like, you know, like see the sunset or be on the boat like during like that like dark sky. And I feel like this song just like encapsulates like that feeling, like just looking at a painting and want to like just go into a painting. um it's a really I don't know how to like, it's kind of like Modest Mouse and like what's the other one, Cloud Cult. He definitely sounds more like the guy from Cloud Cult at times, but it's a very experimental indie rock that's like also kind of like leans on like classic style rock, and it's not like, it's just it's a very confusing album to really describe to people. When you just listen to it, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, I get it. um I listened to this for the first time after like some bad news, and it really just helped me get through it. I did hear like, you know, the opener song once, and that was the main reason why I saved the album. And I listened to the album, and everything just, it's a great masterpiece of an album. It right now is currently my favorite album of all time. That could change, but it's a beautiful piece of music that I feel like a lot of people should check out. You just want slow indie rock, you know, music to listen to on a rainy day, music to listen to during a storm. Listen to this album, which is, the album is, it's Bluffer's Guide to the Flight Deck. This song, oh my god, I love this band. I love this song so much. So if you didn't know, Billy Joe Armstrong's son has a band called Ultra Q. It's one of the greatest all homages, but also does its own thing to 90s alternative rock. Everything can range from like shoegaze to like I don't know, like kind of like a punkish vibe to it. It's a very amazing project that I would say that a lot of people should check out. But this song, oh my god, when I think of best videos of all time, the video for this song really fits in that category. This this is like, oh my god, if you give, just imagine like, you know, you make music with your friends, and you're like, we want to make like a 90s alternative rock song, but we also like want to have like but we also want to like top that nostalgia with something that like we grew up with, Grand Theft Auto 4. And oh my god, it's like an AI generated version of GTA 4 with like you know, like with that kind of them as like characters in the game, and the world is like, you know, it's all AI generated, but it goes together so well with the music. This song is amazing. When I first heard this song, I was like, damn, what is this? And then I found out it was Ultra Q, and Ultra Q came out with the song. I forget which one it was. I think it had something to do with like Friends. Like Friends was in the title of it. But then I heard this song, and I'm like, damn, I want to hear more of this band. And just listening to like how enthusiastic they are about like the music they make. We're talking about this band, like it makes me want to say some things that I guarantee I'd get hate for about Green Day, but if you know, you know. With this song, this song is just like, I don't know, it's kind of like your typical like, it's not really it's not shoegazy, but it's more like space rock. Something like Cave In, or what's the other one? Like Failure, kind of. There's kind of like those vibes to it that really like, it's like it will take you like to a whole world. There's one point in the song, like where the guy is like, or I think like who's supposed to be or someone that's like playing as him, like as the AI. He's playing guitar, and then there's like I think 3 different people playing the guitar, and then that's like when it drops into like like the chorus like guitar, and it just everything just hits at that exact moment. It's like this could be played in a 90s movie and just be like, yeah, like it's like one of the, it's kind of like, Where's My Mind? It kind of hits you in the way that like Where's My Mind hits you. But phenomenal song. So post-hardcore is my favorite genre. I don't know how it came to be. It was a genre that really resonated with me through high school. And it is the most exciting genre that I'm always looking forward to hear new music from. However, there is like newer releases or a different direction bands have headed in recently that I just don't really agree with, and it's kind of stale. I've wanted, and it's been on a band that's been on my list to check out for a while has been Holding Absence. And I hear everything great, like so many great things about this band. And I can't wait. I cannot wait to get through it. But until then, I have to put up with like the last Silverstein album, which I didn't really care for. Senses Fail, I thought was going to bring it home with their last release. It just came, it was better than their last album, but it wasn't as good as anything else. In my opinion, like, If There's Light It Will Find You is my least favorite Senses Fail album, and that was my second least favorite. And The Fire is my favorite, by the way, which is like, I don't know if that's a controversial opinion. But yeah. But with, regarding post-hardcore, I originally had this song as like probably, I don't know, like, I think there was like 600 songs on the playlist. No, 800. There was like 800 songs on this playlist for top songs of the year, and it was very low. It was like probably the 15th song that I put on the playlist. So you have to understand that this was a last minute decision. There's something about this song that just delivers all that emotion that I've wanted to hear, like from new post-hardcore releases. It's a solid post-hardcore song, and I don't remember where I heard Kayak Jones, but yeah, Bouquet and Kayak Jones together, like it's a recipe for a great song. It really just surpassed every other post-hardcore song that I had on that list, which was probably, it wasn't as much as I wanted to. Like, definitely, it was a mixture of a whole bunch of different genres, but I would argue that it was probably 3rd or 4th most popular genre on my list. But really, it's just the overall emotional delivery throughout the song that just doesn't make you want to, like, it's not all screaming, and it's not all like, and it's not like you're not waiting for like a breakdown. It's just a great song throughout, which is what I would like to hear from like the next releases from other things. Static Dress is probably my only exception, and I guess if you want to count Nothing Nowhere, but Nothing Nowhere isn't like, that's kind of like a new thing for him to do, the post-hardcore and the rock and all that. But regardless, Static Dress is probably my like favorite band currently that is delivered on all fronts of going into the post-hardcore scene, along with doing other styles and adding some other things to it as well. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Tire Swing. Alright, how do I talk about post-rock without talking about vocals and whatever? I'm going to try my best. So I've mentioned before, but I've been piecing together the whole photo project. More on that later on, but not going to cover it all in this video. Post-rock was probably my last genre yeah, it was my last genre to go through entire playlists to like find music from. I did go through these playlists originally, but I think that was like in high. No, it wasn't in high school. It was the first year of college, so it was kind of like a different perspective. Like 3 years later, 2 years later, listening to all the music again, and a lot of the stuff I didn't heart, I ended up hearting this time around. And I came across this amazing post-rock song that currently is my favorite post-rock song, that I really don't know how to describe this to you, but everybody that's like into like video game soundtracks and OSTs, I would say that this is like the good ending track after a very long journey. Like after all of the hell that your main character has been through, this is the good ending track that plays after like this, I don't know, maybe 10-minute long ending. And you feel like, it's just a well-deserved ending from this journey. There's not really else I can say about this track. It's beautiful. The way it's produced, the way it's everything's arranged is just perfect. I definitely want to listen to more Dan Kane. That's for sure. I originally talked about Hodera in my other video, and I love the album so much. This album to me has so many great songs, and just I discovered everything at a perfect time in my life. But at the end of the day, it always comes down to this one song. North Dakota is one of those songs where it's like, this guy, like, it gets personal. And then whenever the chorus happens, like, it's kind of like, I feel like the best way to describe this song, and I'm glad I finally have a comparison to make, is like, everybody goes on about Dial Drunk or Dial whatever by Noah Kahan, and I understand it. It wasn't on that list, or it's not on this list because I didn't hear it till this year, so it's going to be on this year's list. However, but yeah, no. Everybody goes on about like how this guy like writes like about like that self-deprecating moment, and he just like he goes all out, and he like he understands like the person he is, who he's becoming, and like he just wants to get people to like get back or drag them all into it. And I feel like with this song, it's like this guy is kind of like spilling his heart out towards this one person, and he clearly like he sees himself as like no one else really sees him the way this person does. And it gets and at the point like he kind of just he just keeps pressuring this person and like trying to like get them to like, I guess, come back into his life. And then when the chorus hits, like you really feel that chorus. The chorus is I don't want to do this alone, which is like, and it's like I feel with most choruses, like you kind of have to have like a radio style like drawn out way of like that you can sing along to, but this is just a straight up like plea, like he's pleading that he doesn't want to do this alone, and you just can't help but resonate with him. I relate to this song so much, and I feel like this is one of those songs I've been waiting for a very specific song to like relate to something that I've been through, and I feel like this is the number one song that does. I love hearing it. It's kind of catchy to a point where you can't help but play it a lot, but at the end of the day, like this song means so much to me. And it's kind of like in the realm of like Pine Grove-ish. But even then, like now, I guess like with how Noah Kahan isn't really considered country, he's more like kind of Mumford and Sons to some people. I'd say it's still kind of in that demographic. Like you will probably like Hodera. Hodera is this album as a whole is just a 10 for me. And his Dear Friend album that came out afterwards, I'd give probably about a 7 or an 8. But yeah, this is a phenomenal song that really, really took my ear.
I can still remember.
Back to songs that came out last year. I love this song. Shinedown is one of those bands that I've heard so much about, never listened to until I found out that they sing Second Chance, which is a top 10 song for me. And for my surprise, this is kind of like a sequel to that. It's one of those songs that really, like, I don't want to get... Okay, the best way that I describe this song is, you know how a lot of people relate to, like, Numb? I feel like this is kind of like their version of Numb, which is phenomenal. It's like, it's done in a way that it's not like preachy, it's not rock centered. Like it does more than just make a rock song. It's not like the guitars and everything. It's not like a 3 Days Grace anthem. Kind of like reminds me of, like, honestly, like Airborne Toxic Event, with just the way this is produced, and however, like, you know, with Shinedown lyrics, but in the way, like, the thing that really makes this song special to me is that it was a radio hit, and my family and I really just connected with it so much deeper, because we all, like, hear it on the radio, we all heard the song and love the song so much. But the one thing about this song for me is that I feel like when you listen to it with the video, it has an even deeper emotional impact on you. Like the song, like whenever the song starts, whenever the chorus hits, like everything about it just hits me in a way that, like, people that, like, listen to Numb for the first time feel. But the only difference with Numb is, like, yeah, the first time I hear it, yeah, I get it. But when I hear this song constantly, it's like the same impact every time. Definitely, I think I've made all my points. This is just this is one of those surprising hits that you just wouldn't expect to come out, but it did. And I can completely understand why the lead singer has a hard time playing this. I mean, I have a hard time listening to it, so yeah, playing that would just be, I can't imagine. But yeah, this is a really beautiful song, and definitely one of my favorite songs to do with mental health. I don't know if it's just everybody, or maybe specifically like music nerds, but I feel like there's one point where you get obsessed with the Third Eye Blind album, and for me, I had the same thing happen, and I don't know, like, just like when I was friends with people that were really, like, you know, Fantano fans, a lot of them would just kind of like, we just like go on like, oh yeah, this album's so good, talk about why this album's so great. Honestly, like, the song that I still love to this day off of it is How's It Gonna Be, as well as In the Background. I feel like those two songs they're really good. But I've listened to this album so many times. I have it on CD. I downloaded it, and it was kind of fading. And I feel like when you listen to certain songs in high school, you listen all the way through, not everything holds up. And even every time I hear Semi-Charmed, Life, it just kind of just reminds me, it's just like, yeah, I mean, it was for the time. And then I grew up, and I heard this album that I had no idea what it was. I had one song favorited, which was The Closer, and I just didn't expect to be blown away in the same way I was blown away by, like, Third Eye Blind. The Refreshments is a very great band that never was. They never made it. they will be remembered from this album from, you know, whoever you ask. And they, like, obviously there are some artists that love this band, and this band even had like a movie that I still have yet to watch. I really want to watch it. But in my opinion, like, it's just as good as the Third Eye Blind album. Banger after banger, great guitar solos, and the only difference is, you know, that was just like, you know, your typical rock made by a douchebag. This is like bar rock with just some of the most catchiest hooks I've ever heard. But this song, when it comes to this specific song, this is a song that just, I don't know, certain songs I hear just instantly become a top 5 for me. This instantly became a top 5. I don't know what it is. It's just kind of just got me into like wanting to listen to more drinking songs. I was also listening to Frank Turner at the same time, and it's just one of those songs where you're just like, yeah, like I put this on at the bar. We just like, it's a really good drinking song, I would say, and I don't know. This is just one of those songs that just delivers on all fronts. And this album to me has zero duds. I like all the songs on it, and I love the writing, and especially the guitar solos. The guitar solos are really good. But yeah, like it's like, I don't know how to really describe it. It's kind of like at the beginning of the song, it kind of has like a 70s, like a 70s kind of like, I don't even know the proper term. Like basically like a 70s groove, and then it goes into like fast drumming segments that kind of like, you know, kind of sound punkish in the chorus. But yeah, it's a song that it's just one of those songs that you just love afterwards. There's not a whole lot to say about it, and there's not a whole lot to say about the band. Like, you just listen to the album, and I don't know if I'm the only one that has the same opinion on it, but I would definitely listen to this way more than Third Eye Blind.
Said her friends don't like me. Well, I don't.
I praise this band so much, and it all comes down to the song in the end. What can I say about tarot cards that no one else has? It's an emo classic. It's so good, well written. Love the sound. The chorus is a very good chorus. It's a very relatable song if you're, you know, that awkward kid in high school. Kind of gives me like those vibes. It's kind of gives me Panucci Pizza vibes, which is not a good thing. But just the way how it's very explicit, and just how explicitly he like reveals himself in the song. It's kind of like the same level, I would say. Yeah, I don't really know how to like. It's a well-written song. Personally, obviously the chorus is my favorite part, but the second favorite part is like whenever at the end, when it plays like, whenever like the ending segment, where you hear all those lyrics that you didn't hear previously. And that kind of like just, and even just like everything about it is just, it's a perfectly well-made song. I would say, I'd also argue, like, stable in the genre. I've kind of just described everything. Like, there's not really much else I could say about it. It's a very great song. And it just instantly became, like, easily one of my favorites. The fact that this is a number 1 is crazy, because it was very close. Very close. If it wasn't for the next pick. Would it surprise you if I tell you that the last picks are just some of the most depressing? Depressing, yet there's something also to take away from them that I just can't really explain. There's, at one point, I don't remember where it was. It had to have been, this was on my Discover Weekly. as always, it's a mixed bag. Sometimes depressing stuff, sometimes it's shoegaze, sometimes it's Dance Gavin Dance ripoffs, sometimes it's metal, sometimes it's hardcore. And this time we got like some of the most depressing sounding song that I could possibly think of. But for me, it turned itself around at the end, which I can't, like, I would have probably skipped this song if it wasn't for this, like, there was at one point where electric guitar comes in, when it's just a very moody, depressing kind of just, almost, even to the point where it's just like, okay, yeah, it's another depressing song, but yeah, and then it shifts into, it finally, like, gets the point across throughout the whole song. And then when that electric guitar comes in, it just kind of seals the deal. It's, as far as I know, I don't really know what this song's about. It kind of just sounds like this guy, or like just reading through the lyrics, as far as I know, it sounds like this guy, you know, kind of regretting how things went in a relationship, and he's just talking about this person and called Haley. And honestly, I gotta be honest, this is one of those songs that I will not be able to distant a person's name from the song, because this song just really delivers on like how heartfelt and how just how depressingly sad it is all throughout. But it's not in a way that's like, it's not in a way that you like feel bad for the guy. It's more just like, you if you relate to it, you relate to it. And it's kind of, I don't really know how to, I don't really know what else to say, because I wrote here that this is kind of like North Dakota for me, but even more depressing, which if I have to guess, I mean, I guess I meant I related to this song to that in the same way as North Dakota, but it's even more depressing. It's just, I don't know what to call this. It's like kind of like inner wave, like bedroom indie style that may make you want to do something you shouldn't do. Yeah, it's one of those songs that's just, I will never be able to escape this song if it plays. I just gotta listen to the whole song, because it's a very moody song that I wasn't expecting to like, but man, plain old, what were you on? Because I genuinely feel bad for you.
Come and pick me up from the parking lot, 'cause
So one thing that I will say is that this is not our last pick, because the last pick wasn't on Spotify. So yeah, that's gonna be fun to go over. But let's talk about something that's kind of in the same realm as the previous song. I did hear this original song at one point. I thought it was really good. And then I hear it again, read the lyrics, and like kind of missed the mark. But then they remade it in a way that I just absolutely love. When I think of stripped down and maybe acoustic, bombastic versions of songs, sometimes it's hit or miss. Specifically, acoustic songs are hit or miss, you know, because they might take away just like what made that song originally great. When I mentioned bombastic, Airborne Toxic Event used to do bombastic versions of their songs that really just changed their sound, and honestly made me like their songs more because of the bombastic versions. And with this song just solidifies the examples, or the example of changing a song. The original song was kind of like, I don't know, indie popish, indie rockish, a little bit of like shoegazy elements to it, which didn't make sense when you read the lyrics, and then you hear this, and you're like, oh my god, yeah, I completely understand the song now. This song just really resonates with me in a way that I don't know how to describe. It's like one of those, it's kind of like, the reason why I put it above Haley was because it's not all depressing throughout, because there is a hopeful aspect in the end of it. I really just, I don't understand how they could just, how they wrote the first version. It just doesn't make sense to me, because I'm like, this is so much better. So much better. It really just, it hits you in a way that I don't know how to exactly describe. And a very controversial thing that I put at this is definitely a song that I would just, if I'm gonna die, I would put this song on. It's like, it almost sounds like it's from an entirely different world, and I've never really heard anything even remotely close to it. It's so simplistic, but that the singer just really, like, it's one of those songs that you're so focused on the singer instead of everything else around it. It's so perfect. And I know some songs, or mostly radio songs, have tried to do the same thing and they failed. But this is one of those examples where I'm genuinely, if they want to do songs like this, I think that I'll really enjoy it. And I didn't really like follow this band. I had the original song favorited, and then I heard this. I was like, I do remember hearing this song. And then I heard the Redux, and I'm like, this is the better version of that song. And I knew it instantly that this was going to be a very high pick. It was originally going to be number one until I decided to change that. Which, without further ado, number one. Alright, so this last one, I've talked about this band before. They're, I don't know which exact metal genre they fall into, but this was really the band that got me into metal last year. I wasn't really interested in diving into most metal genres, but just the way this band combines different genres within a song. It could be multiple genres at times. We can go from punk to pop to rock. It's insane on what this band can do. This is by far one of the craziest pieces of music I have ever listened to. If you like Van Halen, Rage Against the Machine, death metal, ska, synth pop, Pantera, and Nintendo Core, I guarantee you will like this song. It manages to combine all those different elements into one cohesive or one coherent track that honestly, it blew my mind. I never heard anything like this, and it was kind of like Electric Callboy, but amped up and just way more insane. I definitely listened to their entire discography after I heard that one song, and I was not disappointed. This is definitely one of the best metal bands I've ever heard. And it doesn't really matter that you don't understand their language. It's insane on how great they are at the genres they recreate within just one song. It's insane on what they can do. I found out about this band during, it was a reaction from local band Smokeout, and from there on I had to listen to it myself, and it's definitely one of those things you want to watch the video with one person as you're going along through it to really just, because it's like, enjoying this by yourself is one thing, but enjoying this with multiple people is a whole other experience, and I highly recommend you react to the video with other people. This song is not on Spotify, that's why it gets a special place on the list. But by far, this is the most insane, great, fun, above the numbers track that I've ever heard. Definitely, even going through something as insane as mathcore as a genre, nothing comes close to reaching this song, in my opinion. Highly recommend.